Life is a journey. This was sent to me by a friend that lives in Colorado. Life is a journey. It's not where you've been, it's where you're going. Children in church. A little boy was in a relative's wedding. As he was coming down the aisle, he would take 2 steps, stop, and turn to the crowd. While facing the crowd, he would put his hands up like claws and roar. And so it went step, step, roar, step, roar, all the way down the aisle. As you can imagine, the crowd was near tears from laughing so hard. By the time he reached the pulpit, when asked what he was doing, the child sniffed and said, "I was being the ring bearer." On Sunday in a Midwest city, a young child was acting up during the morning worship service. The parents did their best to maintain some sense of order in the pew, but were losing the battle. Finally, the father picked the little fellow up and walked sternly up the aisle on his way out. Just before reaching the safety of the foyer, the little one called loudly to the congregation, "Pray for me, pray for me." He knew he was in trouble. One particular 4-year-old prayed, and "Forgive us our trash baskets, and we forgive those who put trash in our baskets." A little boy was overheard praying, "Lord, if you can't make me a better boy, don't worry about it. I'm having a real good time like I am." and a Sunday school teacher asked her little children as they were on their way to church service, "And why is it necessary to be quiet in church?" One bright little girl replied, "Because people are sleeping." A little boy opened the big and old family Bible with fascination, looking at the old pages as he turned them. Then something fell out of the Bible. He picked it up and looked at it closely. It was an old leaf from a tree that had been pressed in between the pages. "Mama, look what I found," the boy called out. "What have you got there, dear?" his mother asked. With astonishment in the young boy's voice, he answered, "It's Adam's suit." The preacher was wired for sound with a lapel mic, and as he preached, he moved briskly about the platform, jerking the mic cord as he went. Then he moved to one side, getting wound up in the cord and nearly tripping before jerking it again. After several circles and jerks, a little girl in the 3rd pew leaned forward toward her mother and whispered, "If he gets loose, will he hurt us?" 6-year-old Angie and her 4-year-old brother Joel was sitting together in church. Joel jiggled, sang, talked out loud. Finally, his big sister had enough. "You're not supposed to talk out loud in church." "Why, who's going to stop me?" Joel asked. Angie pointed to the back of the church and said, "See those 2 men standing by the door? They're hushers." My grandson was visiting one day, and when he asked, "Grandma, do you know how you and God are alike?" I mentally polished my halo while I asked, "No, how are we alike?" "You're both old," he replied. A 10-year-old under the tutelage of her grandmother was becoming quite knowledgeable about the Bible. Then one day she floored her grandmother by asking, "Which virgin was the mother of Jesus, the Virgin Mother Mary or the King James Virgin?" A Sunday school class was studying the 10 Commandments. They were ready to discuss the last one. The teacher asked if anyone could tell her what it was. Susie raised her hand, stood tall, and quoted, "Thou shalt not take the covers off the neighbor's wife." That is the end of a children's idea of church. Thank you, Joanne and Cecil.